Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Corona Pendant. This is the 136501. This is the most popular size. It's coming in about 27 inches or so diameter, 26.9. This is going to be appropriate for dining tables that are going to be 72 inches, 84 inches. Also, it's going to be great for people who want to put this in a foyer. We have this in our showroom. When you first walk in the front door and you look up, we have 12-foot ceilings, and it's hanging right there in front of you and looks great. Let's get into details about it. It's coming in at, the fixture itself is, when we talk about it, it's independent of what it's hanging from. So when we talk about the fixture body and the fixture height of that body, we're coming in at 21 inches. And that's going to be the distance from the bottom part to the top where those poles are coming together. That's called a distributor, right where this thing starts, okay? That's coming in at 21 inches high. Overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling itself. We're not talking about any parts, whole thing. You're going to have a range, and that range is going to be 27.1 inches at its shortest, all the way to 69.1 inches at its longest. It's going to be shipping with 67 inches of wire, coming in at 26 pounds. Make sure you tell your installer about that. Always a good idea. Let's talk about how you're going to be able to attain these well, they're basically interconnected rods. So these are your rods, and these are going to be threaded on both ends, and then how you're going to be putting them together is with connectors, and the connectors have threading on them as well. They go into the threaded ends. So you can see this is your connector, has threading, like I said before, threading here, threading there, beautifully milled too. The cool thing about this is when you put these together, it is almost seamless. It is incredible. As a matter of fact, I mean, this is only like, a foot away from me, and once I get this together, you can barely see a line there. So when you have this up, you can barely see a line. It looks like one solid rod going up. So on the page for this, you're going to notice there's a little chart down there, and that little chart is going to give you which rods you're going to use in different combinations to get to the overall height you are looking for from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. As a kit, you're going to be getting 3 pieces of the 12, 1 piece of the 6, and 1 piece of the 3. You can always order another kit. And if you need this to be longer than the long, and the longest is 69 inches, 69.1, we do custom lengths. So let's say you're coming down from a 22-foot ceiling. What we would do is we would do a custom version of this, enough wire for you, and then additional kits, and you're good to go. It's a very nice, thick, sturdy piece. So I want to talk about the installations instructions on this too, and how you put this together. Very simple. Install instructions is a PDF over this way on the left-hand side of your, right-hand side of your screen for you. It's going to say Installations Instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to have schematics of the fixture. It's going to have a parts list of all the different parts. It's going to show you what the canopy is like on this side, which is pretty important for you. A lot of people want to know that. Hangs just from your junction box, a normal 4-inch J box, but remember it's coming in at 26 pounds, so tell your installer about that. So let's talk about how you put this together and how you probably would be doing it at home or wherever you guys are going to be. How you do it is you're going to be putting down like a nice fluffy towel on a table. You'll put your fixture down. You're going to be threading the wires through the pieces. Remember, you're going to figure out which pieces you need, like how many 12s, how many 6s, how many 1s, that kind of 12, 6, 3 is what I meant to say. And you're going to figure out what you need, and you're just going to feed those wires through each piece and the connectors one by one. So, and then when you get them done, you're kind of just going to build your way up, and that's really the best way to do this fixture. And that's really about it. When you get to the top of this, you're going to be going through this thing, and this is the canopy that goes on your ceiling. This is slope ceiling adaptable already to 45 degrees. At the very top of this, you can barely see, it's kind of hiding, but there's a piece right there that makes this slope ceiling adaptable. It's called a knuckle, just like your finger, just like that. So it goes right like that. 5-inch, like I said before, you're good to go. Okay? So let's move on from there. Let's talk about what's going on inside of this. Before we do that, we'll touch on glass really quick. Glass is this beautiful handmade piece of glass. Inside of it is also a piece of glass. It has threading on the end of it, which is going to go over the socket and kind of keep that part on. Inside, frosted glass, so you're not going to be able to see any of your bulbs, which is really nice. So you can kind of use these big LEDs and not have to worry about even ever seeing them. Outside is going to be this beautiful clear glass, and it's all one piece. It's an amazingly, beautifully engineered piece of glass on its own. Now let's talk about what's going on inside of this. So, as far as sockets go, you're going to have 6 of these G9 sockets. A G9 socket uses a G9 bulb. Normally, in the old days, they would have been halogens like this guy here, and they come frosted and they come clear. You're going to be limited to 40-watt halogens if you guys decide to go with halogens because of the heat generated by a halogen bulb. And if you want to go LED, you probably will. If you want to use these, this is great. It's a dimmable fixture. It's going to be very pretty. LEDs are easy to get nowadays, and I have some right here to show you. And you can also get these dimmable as well. Make sure that you tell your installer if you're going to be using dimmable LEDs when you're putting this all together so they get the right dimmer on the wall for you. So I got these on Amazon. It's just the easiest place to get them. There's different kinds. There's the ones that are called phosphorus ones, and they have the yellow strips inside. Sometimes they're lines, sometimes they're pads. The other ones that are called cob LEDs for obvious reasons because they look like corn cobs, basically. And sometimes they come with a clear coat outside, sometimes they come with a frosted diffuser on the outside. It's like a heavy-duty plastic. Again, Amazon, the best place to get these. That's where we get them for our showroom. When you get into LEDs, you get to choose the color temperature of the LED, of the light coming out of the LED. So 2700 Kelvin, that's going to be super yellow, kind of like a setting sun. Way on the other side of the spectrum is going to be called daylight. That's like a bluish white light. I'm not a big fan of it, but some people are. That's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale. When you're looking online or if you're in a store and you're looking at the box, you're going to see there's a little scale and it's going to have like 2700 Kelvin at one end and like 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin at the other end and a little arrow kind of pointing where that bulb falls on that color spectrum. What we like to use in our showroom is called warm white. And warm white is this nice warm white coming down. It's 3,000 Kelvin. It's right in the middle of those other ones. So it kind of mimics the light of an incandescent bulb. These are all dimmable ones. I kind of tend to like this a lot because it hides beautifully inside of that. You can't even really tell, but throws a lot of light. This is a 75 watt equivalent. So like I said, you can get a ton of light out of these. You know, it's really up to you as far as the bulbs go. You can go halogen, you can go LED. Make sure it's a dimmable and tell your installer about that. Let's get into finishes now. If you're on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over on this side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a tab. It's going to say Finishes Help Guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video on there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be talking about a chart a little farther down on the page. You'll see it next to me here. It's going to kind of go over the differences between heavy forging and non-heavy forging, and it'll be talked about in that video. So it's really important that you kind of watch the video, use the chart. You can click on that chart on different things. So you can click on dark smoke and a big page will pop up and show you lots of different things in dark smoke. Click on burnished steel or natural iron, it'll do the same thing. But it's really important that you understand how Hubbardton Forge's finishes are kind of divided into translucent and opaque and how they can look on different fixtures. Our showroom in Vermont has we're up to 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's On Display page. It's way up there in those red tabs again, so click on that and you can see what we have to show you. That changes all the time because we're always adding things as they come out. Showroom's open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. We have an amazing clearance center here too. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you were coming to visit us, bring a good-sized vehicle, something like a big SUV or maybe a small truck or something like that, because you might find something in the clearance center that you want to take home, and it's a lot of fun to go through. 75% off MSRP is an amazing bargain, so you should really take advantage of it if you can. Like I said, we're open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call us at 802-446-2400 during business hours. You can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. We love to answer emails. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We'll always tell you about that. It'll be in the description thing, that part of the description underneath on the very bottom. So keep an eye out for that. We also offer a rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. They don't stock anything. That's how you're going to get all your finishes, your adjustable ranges to play with, all those things. We can cut that time in half, and it's super inexpensive. If you want to know more, drop a quick email, and I can walk you through the whole thing, okay? So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Love to see you in our showroom sometime, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.